Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leslie Lopez, and I will be talking about The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton, which is assigned to Group 4. I will be focusing on the biography, first woman awarded, women's life in the 19th century, women's education, and women as authors and artists. Hope you enjoy. So, The House of Mirth, Edith Wharton by Diana Lopez, Natalie Kahan, Leslie Lopez-Quijada, which is myself, Team 4, Freshman English 1A, Dr. Sturgeon. Biography. Edith Wharton was born Edith Newell Jones on January 24, 1862, in New York City. Her parents, George and Lucretia Jones, were descendants of English and Dutch colonists. They made fortunes by shipping, banking, and real estate. Edith was expected to learn the rules of mannerisms and the rituals that were appropriate to her social class. Later she became a celebrated author and because of it was called a rebel for not following the rules of mannerism. Edith based her books on research she did in her father's library, where she self-educated herself. Also, the classes given by her governess at home and in Europe. In 1885, Edith was 23 years old and married to Ted Robbins Wharton, who was 12 years older than her, but maintained the same social background. They lived a relatively comfortable life in New York, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. But slowly Edith became unhappy with her marriage. This caused her restlessness and contributed to her depression. She was treated throughout the 1890s, and her condition prevented her to publish her work until she was 36. By 1908, Wharton began an affair with Morton Fullerton, a journalist from the London Times living in Paris. She recorded all the details of their deeply intellectual love in her personal diaries. The affair with Fullerton led to the divorce with Ted Wharton in 1913. Wharton continued writing till the age of 75. She is buried in the American Cemetery in Versailles. Edith Wharton, born January 24, 1862, died August 11, 1937. Between 1900 and 1938, Wharton wrote over 40 books, both novels and short stories. Widespread public recognition of Wharton's talent began after The House of Mirth was published in 1905. The fictional novel was based on an in-depth exploration of American society. After that, Wharton became increasingly prolific. Ethiam Frome was published in 1911, and in 1921 she won the Pulitzer Prize for The Age of Innocence, which many scholars and critics consider to be her best work. Wharton's life changed when World War I began. She also wrote reports for American publications supporting Americans' involvement in the war. After the war, Wharton only returned to the United States once in her lifetime to accept the Pulitzer Prize. She was the first woman to accept this prize. She also designed and built her first real home, the Mount, in 1902. Wharton loved France and stayed for the rest of her life there. Woman's life. Women in Wharton's century had three priorities: keep their house clean, their husband happy, and their children healthy. The highest education they got was high school, and once they were done, they were expected to get married. At a young age, 18 or so, they were expected to having their first kid. If they had a job, they were expected to give it up and get married. Women's life in the 19th century. So basically, it's a continuation. The role of a housewife in the 19th century was similar to that of what we imagine a suburban mother to live like. They cook and clean and run their households. The difference within the two, however, was that these women were taught that their sole purpose in life was to serve the man and his every need, bear his children, and be his doormat when necessary. Women were not seen as anything else but a housemaid. This is why they called them the angels in the house. Those who did not fulfill the expectations were viewed as prostitutes. Women's education. Women's education was not necessarily the first thing women thought about, being their first priority. Their first priority was their house, husband, and children. Those who battled for success education-wise has a lot of scars because of the fights they had to go through with so many people, not necessarily only men, but women as well. Some women viewed them bad only because they were used to their lifestyle as a diligent homemaker. To this day, women are not treated equal, but thanks to those who stood up for women and showed men that women can be successful and not weak as men thought we were, letting ourselves be run over by our emotions, women can go to high school, college, even graduate, and be someone, not only a housemaid. Women as authors and artists. Men in this century took advantage of women's fear. They did not let them succeed on any way possible. They claimed that sports were too tough and work was even harder. Writing or entertainment as well. Everything besides being an obedient wife and a housemaker was too difficult for a woman. They thought that women led themselves by their emotions and because of it, their work would be the same as, for example, looked as a love story or a breakup. To those who knew how to read and write, could have written a beautiful column on the newspaper, book, or a story. But because it was written by a woman, it was considered garbage. This is why women, as authors and artists, to put their work out in the world, they had to hide it. They had to hide their names. They published their work under male neutral pen or anonymous. So that is my part. And I'm sorry for the noise. You can see I'm taking care of these dogs. So I apologize for that. And that's my final project. Thank you.